Knives are cool. And axes too. Hello everybody, Robert Breaker here again. Just remember, knives are cool and axes too. Don't forget axes. That's part of the name of the channel. Some people have been saying, so where are the axes? Well, we'll get to that here in a minute. But today I want to look at this axe, and it's not anything really that special perhaps to you, but it's kind of special to me because this was my daddy's axe. And he's passed away now. Man, it's been 12 years. How time flies. And this is a special axe to me because it was my father's, but it's also, it reminds me of childhood a little bit because we used to use this axe for a specific purpose. Now, you're never supposed to do that. The cardinal sin when it comes to axes. You don't put them into the dirt because that dulls it. Well, this is more of a dirt axe, and I'll tell you why. We live here in Florida and we use it for a certain purpose. And my dad very seldom used an axe, but when he did, he used this. He was down in the dirt with it. Now, why would a guy be down in the dirt with an axe? Well, first of all, zoom in on that thing and look at the patina. He must have bought that 20 some years ago, so it's a little bit older. See how it's all rusty. This is an axe that I like because it's dad's axe, but I don't really care about it because it's a run-of-the-mill, who knows what brand. Let's look at the brand name. And there is no brand name. That's interesting. It just says on the side here, warning. This feels like plastic. So like I said, this isn't very special. You want to see a special axe? Come on over here with me. All right, the name of this channel is Knives Are Cool and Axes Too. So I want to put some axes on this channel. And here's some of them right here. Come on in and zoom in on this table. We've got Holzbrook. We've got Agdor. We've got Husqvarna. We've got Camillus. We've got CRKT. We've got Estwig. I have even wrote the book on axes. Well, no, actually I didn't write it, but I bought the book on axes. Just to see what it says. So we are going to look at axes. Here's a, I want to say it right, Karaswando axe. Isn't that cute? So little. But those aren't the ones we're going to talk about today. I like Norwegian stuff. I like Finland, Sweden, things like that. So I've been getting into these cool axes. But before we can get to this cool stuff, we got to go back over there and look at my daddy's axe. So let's head back over that way. So this is my daddy's axe. It's not really anything that special. It has no name brand whatsoever. It's just kind of your average run-of-the-mill axe. I would imagine he probably bought this from Ace Hardware or Lowe's or Home Depot or someplace. No name brand except China. It says China right on it. What else does it say here? Safety stuff. And then warning, wear safety glasses. Whoops. Safety glass me. Thank you. I always try to remember to wear safety glasses when I'm using an axe. Quick story, I was in Oklahoma at my sister's house. She had a little hatchet, and I'm going like this on this piece of oak about that big around, and ting, right into my right eye. Oh, it hurt so bad. A chunk of wood came out and hit and bounced off. Literally 3 days, I could hardly open my eye. It was watering. The pain, oh, the pain. So always remember never to do that, especially with a knife. Remember, this was my first carry knife. And my Uncle BJ in Oklahoma, he would whittle this way. And one day, boom, he put his eye out. And I'll always remember Uncle BJ with a patch on his eye for the rest of his life. And that always reminded me, you know what? I'm never gonna whittle this way. I'm always gonna whittle down. So safety first, safety first. But this was Dad's axe. And it's nothing special. I call it my stump axe. Now, a lot of people say, why would you call that a stump axe? Well, that's what Dad used it for. We live here in Florida, okay? We're not from up north like a lot of people who get to cut firewood every day. A lot of times we just burn logs whole. Look down there. It takes a while, but we'll burn logs whole. But it is always better, way better, to split wood. It burns faster. And for a lot of people, splitting wood is fun. I find it fun. It's not something that we do often, but I find it very fun to split wood. Let me show you the proper use of an axe. A lot of people like to swing from the right side over. That's a good way to pull a muscle. The proper way of axe, and I've got the book over there, says you go right in the middle of your body, and a lot of people will take that out, whack again, do several whacks. The best thing you can do is come behind it, pick it up, and then go like that. And oftentimes, of course this one didn't cooperate, but oftentimes that will split the wood under the weight of the axe and under the weight of the actual wood itself. Let's try it. Again, that one didn't work. Let me get a different one. This one's kind of too hard. We have really, really, really hard wood down here, and it's oak wood. Let's see if we can get this to work. And see what I did? I went on the side. You don't do that. You go straight down. And there we go. Let's see if we can do this. Missed. Also, proper aim is important with an axe, all right? Let's try again. There we go. Good hit. And there we go. That's the shot we were going for right there. So that's one of the best ways. Why do extra work when you don't have to, and knock the same piece of wood 3 or 4 times if you can possibly do it that way? And I learned that watching YouTube. Wow, and now you can do that too. That probably looked really cool. Right? Did you get that? Come over here in front of me and let's see. That way. Now, I've cut so many of these that they're too thin now to do what I wanted to do. So, I don't know if I can do this, but yeah. Anyway, you can tell it cuts. Now, I call this my stump axe. Come back over on this side. And the reason I call it a stump axe is we live here in Florida. And in Florida, we have a lot of oaks. And this is oak. And oak is very hard to cut. Very hard, as you can tell. So this is not very special an axe. You're probably thinking, why are you doing a video on a cheap little China-made axe? Well, number one, it was my dad's. Number two, we have a special purpose that we use this axe for. I call this my stump axe. Dad also, we live here in Florida, and in Florida we have a lot of oak trees. And these oak trees are the most aggravatingest thing. They don't want to stay underground. They want their roots to go way out, and then they want to show their roots to you. And a lot of times those roots will come up that high. And if you're mowing the yard, which by the way, my yard's a lot of sand, so when I'm mowing the sand, if you will, or when you're mowing the yard, a lot of times I'm mowing the leaves, you'll hit one of those stumps and you'll bend your blade, or you'll mess up the deck and bend it in or something. I can't tell you how many times I've done that. So Dad took this axe and he would always use it in the dirt. I guess we could call it a dirt axe. Now, you never do this with an axe. That's a great way to dull it. But this is what we call the stump axe, because it doesn't matter if it's dull or not. Who cares? It's a little cheap Chinese-made axe, and it's mostly for stumps. So come on over here, let me give you an idea. Follow me. Here's one over here, you can see. This one actually came so high up, really get in there good on it, and these are the roots that I actually chainsawed this one off. But over the years, it keeps growing up and up, and so eventually I'll have to use an axe like this in order to get that thing down. And this is why safety glasses are important. So this axe, like I said, I don't think we've ever sharpened it, and it gets in the dirt a lot. Let me go show you this one. This one's in the shade, so I don't know if this one will show up real well. But where did it go? Right here. This is a good candidate for one that I need to do. And I remember my dad and I always getting on our knees like this. And see how that is? If you've got a low deck, you're coming through here, boom, the deck bends in, bends up the blade. So we'd always get on our knees like this and try to cut those stumps out like that. And it'll dull it. And it's a pretty dull axe, but this is really the only purpose that we've ever had for this axe, the old stump axe. And it'd take a few hits, and then eventually it'd come off, and then I can mow the yard with a little peace of mind, knowing that this thing won't mess up anything. So, cheap little axe, I know, but it has its purpose, and I like the fact that it was Dad's axe. And I'll just always refer to this as my stump axe. And this is a famous axe now because this is the one you see at the beginning of our videos. Knives are cool, and axes too. So there it is. Hope there's one over there. I could spend all day doing this. Probably should sharpen it, but I don't do this often, and it gets the job done. But really get down here on my knees so I don't slip, and a lot of times you can just break it. So don't you wish you lived in Florida and had this problem? Now I don't have to worry about bending my blade. So that's what I use her for. Like I said, nothing special, but it is an axe. And it is fun to swing, and it's fun to remember my dad. So that's my dad's axe. Let's go do one more thing with it real quick. It's pretty dull, but is it sharp enough to cut a rope? Let's see. At least go hold this on that side. Pull it tight. Hold it down. And then go over on that side and let's see if we can cut. No, at least hold it right there. Push it down. Emma, go over there. I want to see if it's sharp enough to cut a rope at least. It may be, it may not be. I don't know. Got it? Tight? I'm going to have to do it one-handed. See that? Not very sharp at all. So, starting out the channel with one of the dullest axes in the shed, but also it's special because it was Dad's. Nothing special to look at, but it is cool because it belonged to my father, and it gets the job done. Now, as we do this channel, we get into a lot more nicer, better, high-end axes. And a lot of people like axes. I do too. And there are a lot of people that say, well, you need this axe or you need that axe. Well, the axe you need is the one that works for you. And there's all different kinds of axes, and I've had a great time reading that little book on axes, and there's some that have a right slant, some a left slant, some use it for sculpting wood. There's all different tools for an axe. And so I can't wait to do some more videos with you talking about axes, because knives are cool, yeah, but axes too. So we'll see you next time. Bye-bye. That's how you do it. Hello everybody, I'm Red Green, and today we're gonna cook a possum on the top of a motor of an old Cadillac DeVille. I think we'll use hubcaps, and we'll make the peas always go in when we make mashed gravy too, with potatoes in the hubcaps. And I think we'll have a good time today as we're cooking our supper. What do you say? No, okay. Most people don't even remember who Red Green is, do they? Look, I'm a NASCAR driver. That's a joke. That's not racism. I'm just kidding. It's can't even joke anymore. Knives are cool, and axes too.